Despite a government policy withholding 1% of revenue from telecoms operators to broaden mobile connection to rural areas without network, some communities in Ghana are still without connection. After more than a decade of since this policy came into force to bridge the digital divide in Ghana, joining us Justice Baidu has been to the Wa East District, where about half of the district landmass is without mobile network, to find out how this is affecting lives.
These people are on a journey to make a phone call. We've been traveling from Palewogo, this small town, one of more than 20 in this area alone, where there is no connection for mobile telephony. This is a daily ritual here. Hundreds of people make this sometimes perilous journey, traveling for up to an hour just so they could place a phone call to connect with other human beings. We finally arrive under a big moringa tree. It is only here that people can access a mobile network. The people spread out in search of connection. When they finally get it, the relief on their faces is priceless. Even here, there are no guarantees. Sometimes you get connection, sometimes you don't.
Hello?
Some people in Ghana, they'll sit in their rooms to do any type of call that they want. But for we dear, you have to travel, look for a motorbike to fuel and go to that place to do the call. For doing all those things, you look as if, at times you think as if you are not even part of Ghana. When you come back to this village, as if you have just gone back into a hole.
We can get help from
Back in the town, I sit down with Eliasu Halidu, who lost his wife who was in labor 2 years ago because there was no network to call an ambulance when her delivery got complicated.
Some for our school children. They tried their best, they couldn't. And so they said we're going to make what ambulance came and pick her to Owa. So when we didn't get the network, so before he came back, he lost his life.
Palewogo is one of many towns in the Wa East District without mobile telephony network. More than half of the landmass of the Wa East District, where Palewogo is located, is without mobile telephony network. Government has, however, recently put up a clinic here, but even work in this facility is stifled because there is no connection.
Here being a chief's compound, most of the work we do here, most of the time we have to refer if it's beyond our power. And what we do is, before you refer, where to refer is a concern. And that if there was network, you will call to be sure that where I'm referring to, there's a midwife there, which is nearer, so that it will ease time. But since there's no network, you can't call, you have to refer, go like that.
The government wants to formalize the economy, taking advantage of the booming number of mobile phones currently in use. And yet it seems many, like the people of Palewogo, are being left behind. Justice Baidu, Joy News, Palewogo, Wa East.
And in the studio here in Kokomlemle, my name is Aisha Ibrahim, but luckily Justice has joined us from Palewogo. Hello, Justice.
Hello, Aisha.
It's very interesting to see you have to put your phone, hang it there for some time before you get the network to make a call.
Yes, it sounds really funny, but it's a very serious situation.
So what more did you find out when you went to this?
So this is a very a desperate situation for people who live not just in the Wa East, in fact, not just in Palewogo, but more than 20 other communities in the same district. And in fact, doing the story, I've just been reading the background to find out that there are close to 2,000 communities in this country facing the same challenge as a community like Paologo. People living in places which could best be described as black spots, where you cannot have access to mobile telephony network. And so what it means then is that imagine yourself not having access to your phone for even 30 minutes, and these people live their entire life without mobile telephony network in 2018. And the result of which is people not getting connection to even call an ambulance when there's an emergency, a health emergency.
Yeah.
I met people who told me that my wife went into labor, her delivery got complications, and we needed to make a call to the ambulance. We didn't get a network before we got through, and before we traveled to the place to get the network.
That was sad.
The woman had died.
Wow. So you get a sense that the telecommunication, companies have not extended their services or their mask to these places. Why? Did you find out?
Yes.
Or they think it's not economically viable?
They haven't. Most of them haven't, and it's for the simple reason of economics. I mean, MTN, Tigo, Airtel, they are all here for business, and so they are the way they invest is driven by their profit motives, and so they would only place their connections where there are more people.
Okay.
And if you travel to, especially in places in the north, and realize how people settle, you realize that people are spread, and so you don't have people converging in areas like, say, Accra or bigger cities.
Right.
And so most of these areas are then left out because
Okay.
the connection is only in the bigger cities.
And they think because
Exactly, because it doesn't make economic sense if you have to spend that much putting the pool there and you don't have enough people to pay you back
Right.
so that you can recoup. Which is why the government of Ghana has, since about 2005, 2008, began GIFEC, which is a government institution that is by law mandated to take 1% of revenue from all the telcos. What is this supposed to be for? It is supposed to be invested back into some of these areas where the businesses will not see value in placing their poles there. And they are supposed to create what is called cell sites in these areas in order that these communities could also connect, but not on the scale that people like me and you would need in places where you need 4G.
But we still don't have that in areas like these.
We still do not have,
places.
which then raises the question about what has happened to these monies that have been going to GIFEC over the last 10 or so years.
So how long has this situation persisted in Paologo?
For people in Paologo, many haven't seen network before, and so it's not a matter of when. It's just about they are actually now sitting and waiting for a day when maybe they will be connected to the, if you like, the light where they can make a phone call in their rooms. Maybe
they are not so sure, and that's a very big problem that needs to be dealt with, because to think of that we are in a technology era.
Age.
And every
I can't imagine myself without network for a day.
So how did you manage?
It's incredible.
I'm sure you climbed the tree. I know you just
you saw me on the motorbike. We had stayed in this community for about 2 hours, and there was no connection on my phone. And this
I'm
guy
sure you
said,
go crazy. You can't do without your phone. We need to
travel to this place to get connection. And so yes, it's not a situation I can stay in. So I imagine how these people survive.
It makes it very uncomfortable. Thank you very much, Justice, for bringing us that. Without you, wouldn't have known what's going on in other parts of our communities. We take a break on The Pulse. When we come back, there is more to talk about.